Welcome back, friends and minions of the cheesy variety. I have a battle here against a fellow cheesy minion, and that is Sharpedo43, who's a really cool guy, and this is a battle on stream, and I believe this is a underused match. I want to say it's underused. In fact, I'm fairly sure that's what it is. So let's go ahead and get into it. There is the squads, and as you can see, he's using that signature Mega Sharpedo. What a shock. And I'm bringing some interesting stuff. Zero Aura, so that's neat. But no, I mean, it fell to Yu-Yu, so that is neat. But anyway, there is Sharpedo, and he's going to go ahead and lead with Celebi, which is perfectly fine for me, because I'm going to go ahead and lead with my Darmanitan, which can wreck all sorts of stuff up. I'm just going to go for the U-turn, because I know he's not going to stay in, and if he does, that is X4 effective damage. Instead, he goes into Heracross. Like he said, this is just a save U-turn. Man, Flare Blitz really would have effed him up, but he's definitely expecting the U-turn. No reason for me not to. Allows me to go into my Azelf, and as you can see, it is a Flame Orb Heracross, so that's scary in its own right. Although it means I can definitely outspeed, so I'm just going to go actually for a Stealth Rocks, thinking that he's going to switch, so that's what I do. I actually don't actually have Psychic on this thing. This is like one of those old school lead Azelfs, pretty much, that I decided not to use as a lead. He is going to go ahead and start setting up against me. I wanted to taunt this thing, and I do. Yeah, that's going to pretty much shut down Klefki, because that's pretty much all I can do. But he did get that one layer on me because of his Prankster ability, so that's sad. I go for the knockoff now. Ends up doing about half to the Celebi and locking off its lefties. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to 2-hit KO, and he is going to go ahead and go for that recover. So, yeah, I fortunately cannot do more damage than that, so I pretty much have to switch. I do switch. I got into my Darmanitan again, because this thing pretty much hard checks Celebi, and I was actually surprised he decided to go for a U-turn here, because I would have kind of left Celebi kind of low taking that, but I don't know. Anyway, he's going to go into the Hippowdon, and that's fine, and I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Flare Blitz. Hippowdon is obviously one of the best physical walls in the game, but you know what? With sheer force, Darmanitan is one of the best physical attackers in the game. So let's go ahead and see what I can do here. Look at that pure damage on a Pokemon that is known for its physical defensive prowess. I hit that thing down red as he sets up Stealth Rock. So now the hazards are starting to pile up on me. So unfortunately, this is kind of a Pyrrhic victory here against Hippowdon. He ends up switching out into his Latios, which is like, okay, that's fine with me. Because I would love to get some extra damage here on Latios, and Hippowdon is probably not going to get much of an opportunity to heal, because Hippowdon is pretty slow. But, no, this Latios is, we're both down to like 2 HP, and we both can't switch out due to hazards, so I'm just going to go ahead and let him kill me. He ends up going for the Thunder, which I'm pretty sure has reduced accuracy in the Sandstorm. Not that it matters, because he just would have been taken out, then I would have died in recoil. Both of us were dying there, and there's pretty much nothing we can do about it. So, yeah. Anyway, in comes Klefki, and I'm just going to go into my Scizor, and I go into Scizor because I'm really afraid of Sharpedo in this situation. I'm just going to go ahead and lock myself into Bullet Punch. Unfortunately, he is going to go ahead and get that T-Wave off on me, and I'm like, okay. Let's just hope that let's just hope that Parahaxes don't happen to derail this game. So he's just going to go for the spikes. I guess this is the second layer, I believe. So I really don't want to get the third layer. Unfortunately, I get Parahax there. This is a standard Choice Band Scizor. I'm like, man, if I give him that third layer, instead he just switched out into Hippowdon, I guess figuring that, he might get lucky and be able to slack off against me. Unfortunately for him, well, unfortunately for me, I get Parahax this turn, so I'm like, oh crap. If this thing gets off a slack off, I am done. I need to kill this thing. So I go for the Bullet Punch. And thankfully, no Parahax there. The Hippowdon does go down. That would have been really scary. And in comes Heracross, and I'm like, okay, this thing is definitely going to hurt if I don't, but I need to keep going for Bullet Punch. So I'm just going to keep going for it, and it does take out the Heracross. And now he does go into that Sharpedo thing. So in it comes. I need to get damage on this thing. I can't afford to give this thing free setup, so gonna go for that Bullet Punch. He's gonna protect, obviously, to get his +1 speed. Hoping for that sweep. He does have the hazard set up on me already, so obviously that's gonna make things easier for him. I do have a defensive Suicune, unfortunately, it doesn't have any. This thing resists all of its moves, but I know that I can live like one hit, you know, and with that. Unfortunately, there's the Parahacks. I end up living the crunch with Scizor, but man, that Parahacks hurt because I really needed to get just as much damage on the Sharpedo as I could in order for Suicune to potentially come in and kill it. Unfortunately, I mean, as you can see, the Bullet Punch is doing good damage. I needed 2 hits of Bullet Punch on that in order to get it down to a point that I'm comfortable killing with Suicune. So in comes Suicune. Here's the hazards. I know he's going to go for the crunch. This is actually a Rest Chesto, or Chesto, you know what I'm talking about. Resto Chesto set. I'm going to go ahead and pop off the rest. I want to see how much crunch is going to do. And as you can see, it doesn't even do that much, which is impressive due to Sharpedo's good attacking stats as well as his ability, which is boosting that. So I go back to full HP. So now I don't have to worry about, you know, the hazard damage. And I'm just going to go for the Scald. I figure if I'm saved if I get a burn. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for. As you can see, it's going to be a 2-hit KO, and it looks like I can survive another crunch. So that's pretty good. That was actually a crit, but it looked like it was going to be a 2-hit KO anyway. Unfortunately, there's the crit. And unfortunately, it was against my Suicune. So, unfortunately, that's going to be the game. Unless Mega Altaria can miraculously live a Ice Fang, which I'm pretty sure he has. So I'm going to go ahead and Mega Evolve. That means I'm only X1, X2 weak to this. And unfortunately, that is not going to survive. So, man, that kind of really sucks with the crit on Suicune. But what can you do? It is part of the game. My Zero Aura, while fast, is not going to outspeed a +1 Mega Sharpedo. And it's Mega Sharpedo is going to be that much of a dick. It pumps my balloon too, which is just classless. Classless Sharpedo. But anyway, my last Pokemon is Zelf, which is, well, he just broke my sash, so that's not going to do anything. Anyway, good game there, Sharpedo. I mean, I got some hacks too in my favor, to be fair. But still, I don't know. Gotta love it when the game ends that way. Maybe you gotta hate it, but, it's part of the game, and that's what happened. That's the battle. But it was a good one. It was a fun one. So anyway, today's question of the day is going to be, what is your signature Pokemon, you would say? It doesn't have to be like a signature battling Pokemon. Obviously, for Sharpedo43, his signature Pokemon is Sharpedo. As for me, it's either probably going to be Magic. Probably it's actually Fur at this point because of Dustbuster and all that. And plus it lives in my sock drawer, and it's very cute and cuddly and awesome. I don't really use him in a lot of Wi-Fi battles anymore. Really should. I try. But Dustbuster, he's lazy. She likes to, just cuddle up in my sock drawer and, cuddle in my lap and, pat it. She doesn't like to battle much anymore. She's, she had enough of that back in the olden days. She's, the old girl is, aging. But anyway, leave a comment about that, and see you guys again next time. Later.